You and a lot of your friends still walk every day. You see each other on the sidewalk, at the park, outside the grocery store. Yet inside, something has changed. More naps. More creaks in the knees. Less spark for things you used to love. You've heard it on TV and read it in the paper. Doctors say, walking is good. So why does walking feel like a chore instead of a cure? There's a reason most of us miss the point, and it's not your fault. There's a subtle difference between just walking and walking in a way that actually protects your health. Make this one change the kind you can do tomorrow morning, and studies show it's associated with nearly a 20% lower chance of dying early. That's real, measurable. Before we go on, quick question. Where are you watching from today? Drop your city or town in the comments. It helps us build a community. And if you've been listening from the very start of this video, type here from the start, so I know who's with me. Thank you for being here. I know making time for your health is an act of care. Stay with me. I'll explain why common advice isn't enough, what to change, and who should be careful. You're doing the right things most of the time. You go for a walk. You try to eat better. You read the advice, yet your energy still fades in the afternoon. You stand up from a chair and think, that felt harder than it used to. You wake up sometimes at 3 a.m., or sleep fits and starts. And you wonder if this slowing down is inevitable. Does that sound like you? Or maybe you're watching someone you love take shorter steps and shrug it off. These small losses, stamina, balance, sleep, confidence add up to a very big cost. Fewer worry-free mornings and lost independence. But here's the key. Many of those losses are not irreversible. With the right combination of how you walk and what you eat, you can reclaim energy and function. I'll show you the evidence and the step-by-step changes that are both realistic and safe for most people. If any of this resonates, type one short word: tired, stiff, or awake. That tiny gesture helps us feel less alone. I'm Dr. Jonathan Miller. For over 30 years I've worked with older adults in clinics, during home visits, and on neighborhood walks. My focus is practical: how to keep your independence, reduce pain, and make small changes that add years of healthy life. Thanks for trusting me with a few minutes of your day. Most people imagine more walking is the whole answer. That's partly right, but incomplete. There's a twist. How you walk, the pace and cadence, and what you fuel your body with change the outcome dramatically. I'll explain why, and I'll give you exact numbers you can use right away. The hard truth: slow, meandering walking is not the same as intentional, brisk walking. A recent large study, nearly 80,000 adults followed for years, found that just 15 minutes of fast walking per day was associated with about a 19% lower risk of dying early compared with people who did no fast walking. That's not fluff, it's a sizable, population-level effect. Why does pace matter? Two clear reasons. Cardiovascular stimulus. Brisk walking raises heart rate and respiration into a zone that improves blood vessel function, lowers blood pressure, and improves how your muscles use glucose. Over time, that reduces heart-related risk. Muscle and metabolic stimulus. Faster walking requires more muscle power and better blood flow. That signals the body to preserve muscle and clear sugar more efficiently, both critical after age 60. Also, you don't need to chase 10,000 steps. The big new reviews show most of the large health gains occur by about 7,000 steps per day. The jump from very low activity to this middle range is where you see the biggest benefits for death risk. Heart disease, diabetes, dementia, and even falls. In plain terms, realistic increases matter far more than perfection. Here is the practical translation into what you actually do. Cadence, steps per minute. For many adults, a rule of thumb for moderate intensity is about 100 steps per minute. For older adults, a slightly higher threshold, around 105 steps per minute, is frequently used as a practical target. You can count your steps for 30 seconds and double it. Use a cheap pedometer or a phone app. That cadence roughly corresponds to the heart and lung stimulus you want. Short but effective blocks. If 30 minutes feels too long, try 15 minutes a day of brisk walking, broken as needed. For example, 3 times 5-minute brisk bursts. Evidence shows even 15 minutes daily of fast walking is associated with meaningful mortality reduction. Posture and mechanics. Walk tall. Imagine a string through the top of your head. Let your arms swing naturally. Aim for a smooth heel-to-toe roll. Shorten stride if it helps maintain cadence without overstretching joints. Think of this as charging your battery, not punishing it. Quick safety note. More below in section 10. If you have chest pain, unstable heart disease, or severe balance or joint problems, check with your doctor before increasing pace. The general medical and sports bodies recommend screening and a tailored approach for those at higher risk. Walking gives the signal. Food provides the fuel. Some everyday foods quietly blunt the benefits of your walks. Here's the hard evidence and realistic replacements with portion guidance. Processed meats, bacon, hot dogs. Many deli slices. Analysis across studies shows that each 50 grams per day of processed meat is associated with about an 18% relative increase in colorectal cancer risk. That's small for one day, but repeated daily intake adds risk over years. Swap ideas. Grilled chicken, canned tuna, beans, lentils, or tofu. Serve approximately 3 to 4 ounces, approximately equals 85 to 110 g, of cooked lean protein per meal, about the size of a deck of cards. Sugar-sweetened beverages. Meta-analyses show that one serving per day is associated with roughly an 18% higher incidence of type 2 diabetes. Liquid sugar spikes blood glucose and increases inflammation. Swap ideas. Water, sparkling water with lemon, or unsweetened tea. If you drink one soda daily, challenge yourself to cut to one every other day this week. Frequent fried foods. Pooled research links regular fried food intake with higher risk of heart disease and diabetes. Swap ideas. Bake, air fry, or roast and limit deep fried items to an occasional treat, for most people. Aim for less than once per week. Refined carbs, white bread. Some pastries. Consistent evidence shows whole grains are linked with lower cardiovascular and all-cause mortality. Swap white bread for whole grain bread. Aim for 1/2 cup cooked whole grain per serving and 2 to 3 servings of whole grains daily if possible. Why these swaps amplify walking benefits? Cleaner fuel reduces inflammation and improves blood glucose control. So the cardiovascular and metabolic gains from brisk walking are not offset by poor food choices. In short, combined improvements multiply, not just add. Which one swap feels doable for you this week? Comment one small change you'll try. Swap soda, skip bacon, or choose whole bread. A realistic, evidence-informed day you can try. Breakfast. Overnight oats, 3/4 cup oats cooked or soaked. 1/2 cup milk or milk alternative. A small handful of berries. 2 tablespoons chopped nuts for protein. Mid-morning. 10 to 15 minute brisk walk. Count steps for 30 seconds to check cadence. Lunch. Salad with 3 to 4 ounces. Approximately equals 85 to 110 g, grilled chicken or 1 cup chickpeas. 1/2 cup cooked whole grain like quinoa. Afternoon. Short chores. Water instead of soda. If tired, try a 5-minute brisk walk instead of a long sit. Dinner. Baked fish 3 to 4 ounces. Roasted vegetables. 1/2 cup brown rice. Protein target. Aim for approximately 1.0 to 1.2 grams per kilogram body weight per day to preserve muscle and function. Prot age expert group recommendation for older adults. Simple, repeatable, and focused on the 2 pillars, brisk movement and cleaner fuel. I want to share one of those unexpected moments. It happened in the park with Evelyn. Age 76. I was tying my shoe when she passed me, pushing a walker but taking tiny, careful steps. She told me she'd been avoiding the main path because it's too long. Then she laughed and admitted she loved bacon every morning and drank orange soda at lunch. I didn't lecture. I simply suggested one tiny experiment. For 1 week, swap the soda for sparkling water and try 2 5-minute brisk blocks instead of one long slow lap. She tried it. The brisk bursts were short, but each day she felt a little less stiff. After 3 weeks she reported fewer midday naps and more energy to read in the afternoons. Small, practical changes, not perfection, gave her momentum. If you've been watching since the beginning, type "still here" so I can see who's followed the full path. Important question. Will faster walking damage my knees? Short answer. For most people, moderate brisk walking does not worsen knee structure and can be safe and beneficial. But there are important caveats. Large reviews and recent research show no clear evidence that normal walking or recreational walking accelerates structural knee osteoarthritis. Some walking programs produce minimal to no increase in joint loading metrics. And targeted gait adjustments can even reduce pain for people with established knee OA. That means walking is generally safe and can improve pain and function for many. Who should be extra careful and consult a clinician before brisk walking? Anyone with recent unstable cardiac symptoms, chest pain, recent heart attack, uncontrolled arrhythmias. People with severe, unstable joint pain or an acute flare of knee or hip osteoarthritis get tailored advice from a physical therapist or physician. Those with serious balance problems or frequent falls consider supervised sessions and balance training first. Practical safety tips. Choose softer walking surfaces, tracks, parks. Use supportive shoes. Shorten your stride rather than overstriding. Add low-impact cross-training like stationary cycling if knees are sore. And consider a gait assessment or PT if you have persistent pain. For people with stable chronic conditions, guidelines recommend individualized exercise plans rather than blanket avoidance. Quick, data-focused recap. 15 minutes of fast walking per day associated with about 19% lower mortality in a large cohort. That's a powerful public health signal. Approximately 7.000 steps per day, a realistic target where many large studies show marked reductions in death and disease risk compared to very low step counts. Aim for steady increases toward this range. 100 to 105 steps per minute, a practical cadence to aim for moderate intensity in older adults. Checkable with a simple counter device. Dietary choices. Processed meat, sugary drinks, and frequent fried foods are linked with higher risk of cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. Swapping to lean protein, water, whole grains and baked options makes the walking gains multiply. Make a short, personal promise right now. It can be tiny. I'll do a 5-minute brisk walk after breakfast 3 times this week. Or, I'll swap my soda for water at lunch. Type your promise in the comments. Publicly committing improves follow-through. Thank you for staying so far. Your willingness to change matters more than any single perfect step. I'd love to hear. What's the biggest barrier to brisk walking for you today? Pain, fear, time, or something else? Share it below so we can help each other. If this helped, please like and subscribe. That tells me to make more practical, evidence-based tips for healthy aging that actually work. Share this video with one friend who still thinks any walking is enough. They might thank you later. This is Dr. Jonathan Miller. Thank you for spending your time here. Take a purposeful step today, just one and then another tomorrow. See you next time, and take good care.